Hello everyone. So this is our author study on John Archambault by Chrissy Meyer and Anna C. Andrade for Education 325, Children's Literature. So John Archambault is originally from Pasadena, California. So he is an author, a poet, a storyteller, and musician. So Archambault is most well known for his best-selling classic Chicka Chicka Boom Boom, which he wrote and dedicated to his son Ari Alexander Archambault. And this book was also chosen for the 21st Century Literature Collection. So John wanted to become a writer since third grade, and in the third grade, his teacher handed him a copy of Charlotte's Web by E.B. White early in the school year. Now, Archibald explained that he read it twice and it was not only his favorite book, but it inspired his future career. In an interview, he was quoted by saying, quote, "I told my teacher, Mrs. Williams, that I wanted to do what E.B. White does. She said, 'John, if you want to be a writer, you have to be a reader,' unquote." However, this was not a problem from Archibald since his family really valued books and reading. And in the 10th grade, while he was still in high school, he had a part-time position as a reporter for a local newspaper. So John Archambault studied journalism at the University of California at Riverside, or UC Riverside, and he was the editor of a campus newspaper called The Highlander. So prior to his teaching job, which I'll talk about later, he was a journalist and he wrote for the Pasadena Star-News. Now, Archambault got his teaching credential at Columbia Teachers College, and he was recruited to teach the first grade in the Bronx, New York. And his class was made up of various cultural and low socioeconomic background, so he wanted to find a creative way to teach reading to kids. So he believed that by using his own ear for language and a lyrical reading style, it was able to really help his students learn that language is power, and he liked to see that kids were excited about reading. So Archambault also worked very closely with author Bill Martin Jr., and they co-wrote the very famous classic Chicka Chicka Boom Boom. So Archibald also became fascinated with brain research involving the power of music, but most notably, he was really influenced by the Mozart effect, which was published by John G. Campbell. And because of this, he created music compilations on CD where he sang some of his books, including the classic Chicka Chicka Boom Boom. So Archibald also has won many awards, including the Parents' Choice Award, the ALA Notable Children's Book Award, Kentucky Bluegrass Award, and the American Library Association Awards. So one book that we're going to be talking about in this presentation is, of course, Chicka Chicka Boom Boom, which is John Archambald's most famous picture book. So this book was written by John Archambault and Bill Martin Jr., and this book was illustrated by Lois Ehlert. It was published in 1989 by Simon & Schuster, and a basic summary of this book is that there are 26 characters in a rhythmic rhyming book, and they are all lowercase letters with an attitude. A told B and B told C, "I'll meet you at the top of the coconut tree." So this sounds like a good idea until the weight of the letters makes all of the letters fall off the coconut tree and they end up in a huge pile under the tree. So this book has a common theme of anthropomorphized letters, which basically means that these letters are given human traits such as emotions or feelings. So this is one example of John Archambault's books. So another book written by Archambault is Boom Chicka Rock. So this book is written by John Archambault, and it is illustrated by Suzanne Tanner Chitwood. It was published in 2004 by Philomel Books. The genre is fiction, and a basic summary of this book is that this is an adorable counting adventure for children. The artwork is created by Chitwood, that is made up of colorful collages that feature mischievous mice dancing through the story. Readers can count down the Congo line and tally up the mice on every page, and also learn about time. This book also really has a rhythmic quality, but it has received mixed reviews from critics. So some critics believe that the artwork is a little too abstract for especially young readers to connect with, and also a lot of critics believe that this book is not as great as Archambault's Chicka Chicka Boom Boom. So John Archambault has written a plethora of other books, including The Ghost-Eyed Tree, which was co-authored by Bill Martin Jr. in 1985, Knots on a Counting Rope, which was also co-authored by Bill Martin Jr. in 1966, The Birth of a Whale in 1995, Counting Kittens in 1997, and Toot Toot Quack Quack in 2007. And again, these are just a few of the many books he has written. So now let's analyze this author's style. So Archambault's books, Chicka Chicka Boom Boom and Boom Chicka Rock, really have a read-along, sing-along style. So in regards to Chicka Chicka Boom Boom, a lot of people believe that this book kind of reads like a chant. It's very rhythmic and it's pleasing to the ears. And this book really helps learn the ABCs in a highly entertaining way. And one review stated that basically the rhythm and rhyme are really at the center of this alphabet book. Now, in regards to Boom Chicka Rock, critics have said that there is a constant repetition of the refrain, which is, everybody rock around the room, boom chicka rock, chicka boom. So basically I feel like both of these books really helps children build their reading fluency, so understanding letters, understanding words, and being able to read them in a fun kind of sing-along way. And this also really builds connections between print and illustrations. Now, both of these books, as well as his other books, have a really rhythmic style, and I believe that this was really influenced by Archambault's experience with being fascinated about how music and reading or learning to read kind of go together. So it really builds a relationship between music and learning to read. Recurrent themes. A couple of the recurrent themes that we see throughout the book as well is the alphabet is the recurrent theme of this book before we go on. And the themes that we hear are repetition, rhythm of the alphabet. We also hear climax and story movement. We hear a lot of chicka chicka boom boom, as well when the climax, when the alphabet is going up the tree and then they fall down. We hear fast and slow, quiet and loud. And in the story movement, within the repetition, we see a lot of lowercase and uppercases. Other distinguishing characteristics. Other distinguishing characteristics that we see throughout the book is personification of the uppercase and lowercase letters. The uppercase letters, they represent the family members of the lowercase letters, who are the kids. The lowercase letters also represent a group of children playing a game. Kindergarten generalization. Children that are part of the ELL or ESL program, also known as English Language Learners in English as a Second Language. This book is great for them because they're able to learn the alphabet in English. Skit Scat Scoodle Doo helps children to articulate new sounds and rhythms, and they are able to distinguish between uppercase and lowercase letters that relate with the sound. Relationships between experiences and books. John Archambault started teaching in a first grade class in Bronx, New York. He realized that the kids dreaded reading, so he decided himself to write a book that children will find enjoyable. The books he created were meant to be seen and heard and feel comfortable and stimulating for the child. As
as well as feeling fun as well as having a fun and entertainment good picture book that they're able to connect with. Their children are able to connect with this book by the way that the alphabet is able to resemble family members. Thank you so much for listening to our group presentation, and I hope you enjoy.